I wish to welcome everyone to the May meeting of the Policy and General Committee. Standing committees are held as part of the council meeting process in order for committees to consider reports prepared by council officers and to make recommendation regarding these reports to the monthly council meeting. Council delegates on the Policy and General Committee are Mayor Kennedy, Deputy Mayor Hickey, Councillor Allgate, Chairperson, Councillor Boland, Councillor Brown and Councillor Jewett. Live streaming and recording of meetings. This committee meeting is being live streamed via YouTube and recorded and published online via Council's website. To those present in the meeting today, by attending in this public meeting, you are consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. The chairperson and/or general manager have the authority to pause the live stream if comments or debate are considered defamatory or otherwise inappropriate for publishing. Participants are advised that they may be subject to legal action if they engage in unlawful behaviour or commentary. The usual chairman's not here, so could we have a nomination for the chairman for tonight?
I'll nominate Deputy Mayor Hickey.
I have a seconder for that. I'll second that. All those in favour? You are now the chairman to take over, Councillor or Deputy Mayor Hickey.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Call for apologies. I hope he's given a verbal apology. So that's okay. We have one verbal apology from Councillor Jewett, who has been called into work and can't get away. I think that's the only apology we have. Yeah. Can we have somebody move that be accepted? Councillor Boland, seconded Mayor Kennedy. All in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Leave of absence. Councillor Allgate has applied for a leave of absence from this meeting and has provided the reasons, being holiday dating from May the 2nd to May the 23rd, 2022 inclusive. Could I call for someone to move that way? Mayor Kennedy, second Boland. All in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Councillor Boland, could you read the prayer, please?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hickey. Almighty God, we ask you to invoke your blessing upon this council, direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement and true welfare of the people of the council area and our state and Australia. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Councillor Gallagher, can you read the acknowledgement of country, please?
Yeah, we acknowledge the traditional owners upon the land upon which we meet and pay respect to those elders past, present and emerging.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Minutes for confirmation that the minutes of policy and general meeting held on Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 be confirmed. Have someone to move that?
I'll move it.
Move Councillor Gallagher, seconded. Councillor Boland. All in favour? Done. Yeah, sorry. Oh, isn't he? Right, sorry.
I would move that anyway.
We'll move that, Mayor Kennedy. Sorry, Councillor Gallagher. Right, disclosure of interest. Any disclosures of interest? No disclosures. Thank you. Reports. Report 1, Councillor's report number 122, dated May the 6th, 2022. Delegates report attendance at the Western Division Councils of New South Wales midterm conference.
I'll move the recommendation as written.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Seconder? Seconded by Councillor Brown. Thank you. All in favour? Yeah.
Just have a few things to say. I'm sure that Councillor Gallagher also has a few things to say. It was a really good meeting. There's 13 additional councils that are interested in at some stage joining the Western Division, so that'll get the number up to 23, 24 councils. So that'll be a significant amount of councils involved. We were lucky to have our motion that was sent to the Western Divisions on real estates carried unanimously. Dave is going to comment on that because there was a bit added to it to make sure we got 100% unanimous support. The other motion that was passed at late notice or put forward by us at late notice was to get the support of the Western Divisions to increase the opportunity for councillors to go beyond the 50% base rate or 49% base rate charge, which will allow us as a council if it gets up to about 75% to even out the rates across the city with only minor increases to the lower end and significant decreases to the upper end. So hopefully this is the first stage of reducing that inconsistency across our city. It seems to me that we're probably one of only a few councils that must be impacted as greatly as we are, because most of the Western Division councils needed to be explained what the problem in Broken Hill was. So it's one that I think we need to really educate the rest of the state via the LG, New South Wales, Western Division, any other organisation as a council you are involved with.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Councillor Gallagher.
Yes, thanks very much, Mayor Kennedy and Mr Chairman, for allowed to address. It's a very good thing, the Western Division, it was a midterm meeting, it was from the 1st to the 3rd of May. There was 78 people there in attendance from a number of other councils throughout the Western Division, but we also had, the invitation came from Mayor Quigley from Warren Council, so they came along. He's indicated that there is another 12 councils that may be interested in joining the Western Division, and they've been invited to attend the AGM at a date to be fixed, which was very, very good. The motions that were put up, there was two, both from Broken Hill, were passed unanimously, but there was one amendment in relation to the one from Broken Hill in relation to the real estate agents, which was passed at the Olga conference in Sydney. We did mention real estate agents and property developers, mainly due to the fact that the western part of New South Wales, a lot of real estate agents and property developers are councillors, and they should remain. And that was passed unanimously by Wentworth. It was moved by Broken Hill, second by Wentworth. It was passed unanimously at the conference. The conference, I won't bore you too much, but the conference was addressed by a number of politicians at both sides of the fence, from sitting ministers, Sam Farraway, we had Dougal Saunders, we had in shadow minister for shadow, Mick Veach was there as well, spoke a lot about what was going on. But one of the biggest thing was Sam Farrow in relation to roads and freight. He did mention that due to the western part of New South Wales was suffered a number of floods, and instead of building wooden bridges on the causeways and things going back to the western part of New South Wales, they are going to get rid of the wooden bridges. When they are devastated, they're going to replace them with cement and properly constructed bridges. So it costs a little bit more cost, but that'll be good for the western part of New South Wales. It was, as I said, it went from the 1st to the 3rd. We had a lot of correspondence. We had a lot of debate, and it was a very good conference. I rang as one of the best I've been to in the western part of New South Wales at the time I've been with the Western Division. And that's about all my report. Sorry it wasn't written, it was here verbal, but I think normally when you speak about it, you get more passion, you get more information, and I'm open for any questions that the council would like to ask.
I'd just like to add to my motion, if I could. Yep. Councillor Hickey, that at number 3, that we thank the President of the Western Division, Councillor Dave Gallagher, for a fantastic conference.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. The second was Councillor Brown. You happy with that? To add that? Yeah, happy to do that. Well, I'll just say something on that. The CEO of the Real Estate Institute rang me yesterday to say that he was meeting last night in Dubbo with the mayor and about 50 odd real estate agents and other industries in the town. He rang me back today to say that it was unanimous there, that they were dead set against getting rid of real estate agents and developers. He's realised now how hard it's being pushed home in the bush, and that the city people are the ones that are trying to do it. He has rang me back today to say that, and to say that he's organised a meeting with the Minister for Local Government to back it up as from the Real Estate Institute. So all those in favour of that motion? Passed unanimous. Thank you. Item 2, correspondence report, mobile communications upgrade required for the Brogan Hill Racecourse. Somebody like to move that?
I'll move that.
You move that. Thank you. Mayor Kennedy, seconded. Councillor Boland. Do you want to speak on that, Mayor Kennedy?
Yes, we did also, if we could just before the meeting, put in the correspondence from Scott Barrett. He did email me directly and the general manager directly, and they're pushing the matter with the deputy premier to try and get us additional expenditure for the mobile tower. So just if that could be added, but I move the recommendation as written.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Did you want to speak on that, Councillor Boland? No. All those in favour of that? Passed unanimously. Thank you. Item 3, correspondence report, weather radar for Far West. We had a move of that.
I'll move as written, Councillor Deputy Mayor Hickey.
Thanks, Councillor Boland. Seconder. Councillor Brown. Thanks, Councillor Brown. Do you want to speak on that, Councillor Boland?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hickey. This issue needs to be followed up. We've had a lot of bad weather in the region over the last probably 2 years now. And I note with interest in the first report around mobile coverage. In this report, they're saying we've got all this technology, use the apps to find out where the weather is and how bad it is, and then but the mobile coverage in regional New South Wales is atrocious. So you can have all the apps in the world, but if you don't have mobile phone technology to actually receive the information, it's useless. So this radar is extremely important for this area of the state. The Doppler radar obviously picks up severe storm cells, and I think it's quite disappointing to read the correspondence where they say just pull your phone out and use that. I don't care how good the people at the Bureau of Meteorology is, you're never going to be as good as live information coming from a radar station. I also note that there was another one up around Moree that they were building, and they said, no, that's not an addition. We're closing one down and building it there. So this is a real cop-out for all of regional New South Wales, and it certainly needs to be followed up. So this area of the state gets an outcome that we deserve.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Councillor Brown, did you want to say anything on that, or are you happy with that? No. All those in favour of that motion? Passed unanimously. Thank you. Item 4. Brogan Hill City Council Report number 11422, dated April 1, 2022, draft delivery program of the 2022 to 2026, incorporating draft operational plan 2022 to 2023, inclusive of the statement of revenue policy and draft schedule of fees and charges for 2022 to 2023.
I'll move the recommendation as written with option 2 for the rating, and that the vouchers be increased at option 2 with 8.
So you happy with that, the way that's been written, Mayor Kennedy? Good. Do we have a seconder for that? Thanks, Councillor Boland. Did you want to speak on that?
Yes, I would. Firstly, I think that the option 2 of the rating is very important. I think that the businesses in town will be very happy with council's recommendation, or this committee's recommendation going to the council meeting. It should also be noted that at option 2, with the eight vouchers, council is going to do a waste management strategy. So this is just the first step to get us by until we get that strategy completed, and councils and the community will have input into that, and that could result in additional revenue streams, as well as potential for reduction in operation costs, as well as recycling and a number of other things. So the community can be confident in the fact that this budget is to get us through to a more permanent fix at the waste facility.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Councillor Boland, did you want to speak on that? Happy. Right. Can we have a vote on that, please? All in favour? Yep, all in favour. Unanimous. Thank you. Passed. Item 5, Broken Hill City Council Report number 120 of 22, dated May the 9th, 2022. Draft long-term financial plan for 2023 to 2032. Did we have a mover of that?
I'll move that. The recommendation as written.
Thanks, Councillor Boland. Seconder? Seconder, Councillor Brown. Thank you, Councillor Brown. Did you want to speak on that, Councillor Boland?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hickey. This is, I mean, the staff that have worked on this need to be congratulated. It's a very in-depth report, and it clearly shows the future steps for council, our long-term financial plans, and how how we're going to be working our assets and revenue and stuff like that. So this is a very, very, very well put together document, and the staff that have worked on it need to be congratulated, and I thank them for the information provided in there.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Councillor Brown, did you want to speak on that at all? No. Thank you, Councillor Brown. All those in favour? Oh, sorry,
No.
Mayor Kennedy would like to speak on that.
Just briefly to say that it's good to see that we'll be going back to surplus, and if the community, I'm not sure how many will be listening tonight, but it's important that council continue to add what would be the equivalent of CPI or a bit lower with our long-term financial plans. Otherwise, we continue to go backwards. So the report does give much detail on what a number of scenarios, and that is to increase by the 2.3 or to increase by the 0.7. And when you read the increase by the 0.7, it's pretty easy to see that if we went down that road, in about 10 years' time, council would be in big financial difficulties.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. All those in favour of that motion? Passed unanimously. Thank you. Item 6, Broken Hill City Council Report number 115 of 22, dated April 8, 2022. Draft Workforce Management Strategy 2022 to 2026 for public exhibition. Can I have a mover of that motion? Councillor Boland. Thank you, Councillor Boland. Seconder? Mayor Kennedy. Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Would you like to speak on that, Councillor Boland?
I'm fine, thank you. Deputy Mayor Hickey.
Thank you. Mayor Kennedy, no. All in favour of that motion? Unanimous, passed. Thank you. Item 7, Broken Hill City Council Report 11622, dated May the 5th, 2022. Quarterly Budget Review Statement for period ended March 2022. Can we have a mover of that?
Move the recommendation as written.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Seconder? Councillor Brown. Thank you, Councillor Brown. Speak on that, Councillor Boland.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hickey. Noting the expenditure and the deficit, I mean, it's been very, very difficult conditions to operate any business in, especially something as dynamic as a council. Again, congratulations need to be given on the projected operating deficit in very, very difficult situations. The 5.1% inflation has been blasted across the screen during the election campaign, and obviously the underlying inflation around that 3.8%, which is more close to CPI. It's a good outcome in a very, very, very tough environment. I believe diesel costs are up around 100% or something similar. So costs are going up. Obviously the rate peg increase above the 0.7% was what was required. It's still below CPI. So hopefully more sunnier skies ahead once we get on the other side of the federal election campaign and the end of COVID as well.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Councillor Brown, did you want to speak at all on that? No. Can we have a vote on that, please? All in favour? Carried. Thank you, unanimously. Item 8, Broken Hill City Council Report number 117 of 22, dated May the 10th, 2022. Investment report for April 2022. Do we have a mover? Mayor Kennedy. Seconder. Councillor Boland. Mayor Kennedy, do you want to speak on that? All good.
Just briefly, look, I'm just positive that council's finances are going ahead. We have a lot of things that we want to do as a council to generate extra revenue. Hopefully we have Cobalt Blue and Horsens and a number of other projects that the council's been doing. So I would just hope that our investments continue to grow with additional revenue streams coming in.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. All in favour? Affirmative. Thank you. Item 9, Broken Hill City Council Report number 118 of 22, dated April 29, 2022. Adoption of the draft revised Code of Conduct Policy. Do I have a mover of that?
I'll move that.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Seconder? Councillor Boland. Thank you. Did you want to speak on that?
Just to say that I think they're good additions. We want to make sure that anyone that is involved in council, it is as easy to understand as possible, and adding little bits here and there can cause confusion. So going back to the model code is a good one for us.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Councillor Boland. All in favour of the motion? All in favour, passed. Thank you. Item 10, Broken Hill City Council Report number 121 of 22, dated May the 2nd, 22, adoption of the draft revised social media policy and the draft revised media relations policy. Do I have a mover of that?
I'll move that.
Mayor Kennedy, seconder. Councillor Boland. Do you want to speak on that, Mayor Kennedy?
Yes, I do. These are important adjustments to both of those policies, as it gives councillors certainty of what they're saying, and it gives councillors the opportunity to speak to the community, speak to the media, and do what councillors do, and that is be a conduit between the community and the council as a governing body and the council as staff. So very good additions.
Good. Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Councillor Boland. All in favour of that motion? Passed unanimously. Thank you. Item 11, Broken Hill City Council Report number 122 of 22, dated May the 3rd, 2022. Amendment to Council's Code of Meeting Practice Policy to include an acknowledgement to Broken Hill's mining history. Do I have a mover of that motion? Mayor Kennedy?
Yes, I move it, but it is about getting the wording as well. So yes. Tonight we need to just briefly consider. I gave just a bit of an idea of what I thought it should be, But I really think it needs to be something that's considered by at least all of us here.
Yeah.
And that includes everyone.
Yes, I was reading it, Mayor Kennedy, and the way I read this was we take time to reflect, remember and honour the over 800 miners that lost their lives or were crippled. Well, there was over 800 lost their lives and those who were crippled or maimed. I think it should just have an end in there.
Okay, that's one.
And those that were crippled or maimed. But other than that, I think it's an excellent thing for the city of Broken Hill. Do we have a seconder for that, Councillor Boland? Did any councillors want to speak on that at all?
I would love to speak on it.
Right.
Look, I can't take. I suppose I can take credit for bringing it to council, but I can't take credit for the first person that did that. It was one of our former councillors, former councillor Christine Adams, that gave me the idea. She probably didn't realise the importance of it while she was saying it, but this is what honours our history and the current people that work here, and it is our future as well. You know, we have new mining ventures popping up all over the place, so that's what tourists want to see as well. They want to get the real, you know, we call the real outback, but we're also the real Broken Hill and everything else, and part of that is our mining tradition and our union tradition.
Yeah, I have to agree with Mayor Kennedy. The town is made up of our history, and you know, and I think that's a really important part for our city. But all in favour of that motion? Thank you. Passed unanimously. Item 12, Broken Hill City Council Report number 126/22, dated May the 3rd, 2022. Art Gallery Rebranding Procurement Auditor Response. Do we have a mover?
I'll move that.
Seconder? Boland, Councillor Boland. Did you want to speak on that?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hickey. I'd like to thank the General Manager for following this up. What's important for council is the processes and the procedures. It's important that councillors and staff all understand we all make mistakes from time to time. We all do things that are made in good faith, but it's important that we all, when we do find a mistake, that we make sure it's identified as a mistake. So in the future, councillors, council staff, council management, we all know exactly what the procedures are. So again, I thank the General Manager for following that up, because what it leads to is good governance, not only over this council, but good governance in the years to come in the future councils, because councils change, often general managers, and I'd hope our current General Manager stays around for quite a while, that once those processes are established, it's then easy sailing for the next 10, 15 years. So well done.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. All in favour of the motion? Yep, unanimous. Thank you. Passed. Item 13, Broken Hill City Council Report number 127/22, dated May the 6th, 2022. Council newsletter, content and format. Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move that. Move the recommendation as written.
Thanks, Councillor Boland. Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Brown. Did you want to speak on that, Councillor Boland?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hickey. I'm really looking forward to seeing the first of this bi-monthly newsletter. It's going to be a great avenue for our community to get information. That's what's happening in council and events coming up, and the process around how we conduct ourselves as a council. Everybody checks their letterbox most days, so I'm sure this will be in the future, all the citizens of the city will be looking forward to receiving their newsletter. Certainly know when I lived in the Temora Shire, newsletter day was great. They also had a paper that only printed twice weekly, and the newsletter was a great opportunity to see what was happening in council and really connected the councillors to the citizens of the Shire. So I'm looking forward to the Broken Hill edition of that.
Thanks, Councillor Boland. Councillor Brown, did you want to speak on that at all? No, all good.
Yeah, I'm happy with everything it said.
Thank
I
you.
think
Yeah.
I also think I have thought for a long time it's a really good idea.
Thanks, Councillor Brown. And I also do. I think, and I've been inundated with inquiries about when the mayor might get his finger out and do the first one. So it's I think it's a very good thing. But thank you. All in favour of the motion?
Could I just quickly say, look, reading the report, it sounds better than I could have imagined. So thanks to, where is he? He's not even here today. Oh, he's on. Oh, doesn't matter. A4, A colour booklet format A4, simple reading, articles, messages by councillors, key points for the most recent council ordinary meeting, updates of council projects and initiatives, general council news, upcoming community and council events submitted, block advertising of council events, council meeting times and other pertinent key dates, general public notices, updates of information, state and federal. It really is going to be a really good thing. It's and congratulations to the manager of communications and marketing. If it's as good as it sounds on paper, it's going to be pretty good.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. All in favour? Passed unanimously. Thank you. Item 14, Broken Hill City Council Report number 12822, dated March the 4th, 2022. Grant assistance fee introduction. Can I have a move for that?
I'll move that with at B option 2, and at number 4 it be explained to the public that this will be an additional service provided to the community to try and facilitate grants to the general public, and that it's not a money-making project for council. It's to cover the costs of additional services.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Do I have a second if that motion is? Thank you, Councillor Molan. Did you want to speak on?
Yeah, just to say that one thing that is lacked in the community for little organisations is the ability to write grants. Often they'll go to professional grant writers with a fee for service. It doesn't always work. You're probably best going through the council, as most grants require council's endorsement or whatever anyway to get the big grants, state and federal grants. So this will give the opportunity for council to employ additional people to get as many grants into the city as we can and cover the cost, so that the cost or the cost burden is not passed on to ratepayers to benefit smaller groups. Smaller groups will be benefited by getting the grant, but once they get that grant, they then pay for a fee for service through council.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. I also agree with that. And I know there's a lot of small clubs and that struggle to write for their grant. They miss out because they don't put it together right. And if they can pay a fee of some type and get it done properly, they got more chance of getting their grants, and it's benefit to everybody. Thank you. We have a vote on that motion. All in favour? Thank you. Passed unanimously. Item 15, Broken Hill City Council Report number 12922, dated May the 6th, 2022. Nominations for the appointment of community representatives to Section 355 community committees. Now, there's a lot of names and that in there, and I guess we've all been through and read all that. You have a move for that motion?
I'll move the recommendation as written.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Brown. All in favour? Oh, did you want to speak on that, Councillor Boland?
Just quickly, very excited to see all those many names of community representatives from the city. It's great to see them involved, and it's going to make the committees a stronger body with so many diverse and different people representing our community.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Councillor Brown? Yes.
I just have a question,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. Just wondering whether with the committee, now I know I happened to be at a meeting of a committee the other day, which is actually has full membership already, and those committee members haven't received any information from council at all, or any kind of idea about where they go next. So I'm just wondering about the progress in doing this. I mean, this week happens to be volunteer recognition week, and as far as I can see, we're not really we aren't really sort of managing this process as well as we could. I mean, it's almost half the year's gone and those committees are still pretty much in limbo.
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Brown. I might pass that on to the General Manager if I could.
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor Hickey. I might defer to Ms Newman as well. If you could provide an update on the process, next steps, please. Thank you.
Next steps are that we have already quite a strong program already written up that is together to call all of these people together and to provide a training background. And it's just a matter of now having the full membership wherever, but and to decide on a date as to when we're going to actually stage this. But the material has already been drafted. The speakers have already been nominated, so that part of the process is complete. It's just now determining a date as to when we're going to call these meetings with all of these people. So there'll be a number of, we're not going to be able to do it all at one go, all of these groups all at one day. So we have some daytime ones and some evening ones in order to cover the whole lot. I can't give you the date just yet. We're determining the date.
You happy with that?
Yes, I have another question too.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm uncertain. I suspect that these committees will also be uncertain about that change to with the recommendation that the council delegate on these committees is to be elected or appointed as the chair of those committees. I anticipate that won't, maybe a number of those committees aren't going to be very happy with that. I mean, what is the situation with that? Where are we with that at the moment? Because I kind of got the impression at the meeting or the last meeting maybe, or the one before, that it was still up for discussion. I think it's quite an important issue because some of these committees, they've been together, the individuals have been together for a long time, and I think they would see that as being maybe unwarranted interference from council.
Mayor Kendi, can you respond to that?
Look, I think that in certain committees that we've had where councillors have been the chairman, but others really should remain the, I know what from the perspective of the council was to streamline the communications of the committees directly with council officers. I agree with Councillor Brown. Many of those committees will be incensed by a councillor automatically becoming the chairman. They enjoy the vote of a chairman, and usually on these committee, the chairman is the person that does a lot of the work. And some of those chairmen, I don't know if the councillors would have the time to put in that some of these volunteers put into being the chairman. So it's definitely one that maybe the spokesperson from the committees could be the councillors to bring it back, but that's what happened. That's what's meant to happen anyway, and it's what has happened in the past. The councillors meant to come back, and I suppose we probably need to streamline that process so that council officers know what's coming straight out of those committees straight away. But I think we need to stick with the committees, particularly oval committees and that sort of thing, voting their chairmen, because I think it would not take long before councillors would realise being chairman of those committees is a lot of work involved.
Councillor Boland, would you like to add an item 13 to that, to the motion?
Yes, I will. To change the
Yeah, that-
The wording or the constitution of those committees, that the chair is appointed at a vote at the meeting, if that is doable or allowed through the current rules of council.
Sorry. Yep, that's fine. Can I just clarify, do you want it worded that the committee elects a chairperson for the term of the committee, or are you suggesting each committee meeting?
Term of the committee, and also stick to the constitution might be better wording for it, to the original constitution. My apologies.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
Fine,
councillor
may
Brown.
I speak, Mr. Chair? I thought that previously each committee had an AGM, each year
Yes.
on the anniversary. So I would have thought the office bearers would be elected or re-elected, probably in most cases. They're just each annually.
Annually, yeah.
I think that was the practice. I think that as the secretary of a 355 committee for a number of years, I think that we were reminded or instructed to keep council updated with who the
Yep.
office bearers
Yep.
are. So
And have their
so
AGM and
it could be-
elect their,
there's a bit
yeah,
of flexibility there. I think, in most cases, people will stay there for the whole term of it, but you
Yeah.
can need a bit of flexibility
Yep.
in it just to make things,
That's
to
true.
keep things working. The secretary's position also is the usual conduit for
to council.
information between the committee and council.
Thank you, councillor Brown. Councillor Boland?
Yeah, happy to add that on to the motion.
Change that.
But depends on, if the AGM, the chair is elected for the term from AGM to AGM.
Thank you, councillor Brown, councillor Boland and Mayor Kennedy. We've had a move and a second. Can we, all in favour? Thank you. Passed unanimous. Thank you. As there are no confidential matters, the meeting is finished. Thank you. And the smartest, Boland.